What's up, curious minds? Welcome to TerraNerds Facts, where we explore the strangest, coolest, and most fascinating facts from around the world and beyond. Today, we've got 5 incredible facts that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew. Let's get started. Fact number 1, your heart generates enough energy to drive a truck for 20 miles a day. Imagine this. You're sitting on your couch, scrolling through your phone, maybe sipping on coffee, your heart is quietly beating. But what if I told you that in just one single day, that little muscle inside your chest produces enough energy to power a full-size truck for 20 miles? Sounds insane, right? But it's completely true. And here's why. The heart is one of the most efficient and hard-working organs in the body. On average, it beats around 100,000 times a day. That's not a typo. Every single day, your heart contracts and expands 100,000 times, pumping about 7,500 liters, roughly 2,000 gallons, of blood throughout your body. But here's where it gets even crazier. Each heartbeat requires a certain amount of muscular force and bioelectrical energy to occur. When scientists and physiologists studied this, they calculated that your heart does about 1.5 watts of work continuously, 24 hours a day. Over the course of a full day, this adds up to about 100,000 joules of energy. That amount of energy, according to physics, is roughly the same amount required to drive a mid-sized truck for about 20 miles. Let's look at this in simple terms. 1 joule is a measure of energy. Your heart outputs around 1.5 watts per second, and since there are 86,400 seconds in a day, 1.5 watts times 86,400 seconds equals 129,600 joules/day. That's the equivalent of a small battery powering an electric vehicle for a short trip. Now, if a truck uses about 6,000 joules to move 1 kilometer, the heart's daily output could push a lightweight vehicle about 20 to 22 miles on flat terrain, no joke. Most people underestimate how much their body works in the background. We associate energy with machines, cars, factories, gadgets, but the biological engine inside our body is working harder than we realize. That's why when we hear your heart can move a truck, it sounds like a clickbait lie. But when we dig into the science, it checks out. Your heart beats over 3 billion times in a lifetime. Over 70 years, that's enough energy to power a city block of LED lights for a week. The total energy your heart produces in one day is equal to lifting a car several feet off the ground. Researchers from Harvard and Mayo Clinic have studied the workload of the human heart extensively. According to a study published in Scientific American, the heart uses about 4 to 5 kilocalories per hour just to pump blood. Over 24 hours, that's about 100 to 120 kilocalories, which converts to around 420,000 to 500,000 joules, depending on heart rate and physical activity. So, the idea that this energy could move a truck 20 miles isn't just believable, it's conservative. Here's something inspiring. Your heart is literally your personal power plant, running 24/7, even when you're asleep. It doesn't pause. It doesn't reboot. It doesn't need Wi-Fi. It works day in and day out to keep you alive. So next time you feel tired or unmotivated, just remember, your heart never stops working. And if it can produce enough energy to move a truck every day, imagine what you can do. Fact number 2, on Saturn and Jupiter, it literally rains diamonds. Picture this. You're standing on an alien world, and instead of raindrops falling from the sky, chunks of solid diamonds are dropping around you. Sounds like a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster, right? Well, scientists believe that on Saturn and Jupiter, this diamond rain might be happening right now. Let's explore the science behind this wild phenomenon. How is diamond rain even possible? To understand how this works, we need to start with the composition of the gas giants Jupiter and Saturn. These planets have massive atmospheres rich in hydrogen, helium, and most importantly for our fact, methane. Methane, CH4, contains carbon. When you go deep enough into Saturn's or Jupiter's atmosphere, the temperature and pressure skyrocket. This extreme environment causes methane molecules to break apart, freeing the carbon atoms. The birth of diamonds in the sky. Now, here's where the magic, or science, happens. 1. Once freed, carbon atoms begin to bond together under extreme pressure and form soot, like black carbon particles. 2. As these carbon particles fall deeper into the atmosphere, they experience even greater pressure and higher temperatures, millions of times more intense than anything we experience on Earth. 3. This intense pressure compresses the carbon into a crystalline structure, diamonds. So basically, the carbon soot transforms into diamond hailstones as it falls through the deep layers of the planet's atmosphere. According to scientists from NASA and the University of Wisconsin, the diamonds formed could be as large as 1 centimeter in diameter, almost the size of a small marble. Wait, where's the proof? We've never actually flown into Saturn and scooped up diamond rain, but planetary scientists use physics, spectroscopy, and lab simulations to determine what's likely happening deep inside these massive gas giants. In 2013, a team of scientists led by Dr. Kevin Baines presented a paper at a planetary science conference in Denver, estimating that over 1,000 tons of diamonds may be produced in Saturn's atmosphere every year. This isn't just a theory, it's backed by data from the Cassini spacecraft and high-pressure lab experiments here on Earth. Let's be real, raining diamonds sounds like a pop song lyric, not a scientific truth. The very idea that a planet could produce and rain down precious gems seems too far-fetched to believe. But when you look at the planetary chemistry and the physics of carbon under pressure, it starts to make perfect sense. It's not magic, it's extreme weather at a cosmic scale. So, could we collect those diamonds? Here's the disappointing part. While Saturn and Jupiter may produce diamonds, they don't stay intact forever. As they fall deeper toward the planet's cores, they reach superhot inner layers tens of thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, where the diamonds likely melt into liquid carbon or vaporize completely. In other words, there's probably no treasure chest waiting to be discovered on these planets. But still, the idea that weather systems on another planet can create diamonds is mind-blowing. Earth's storms produce rain, snow, hail, but Jupiter and Saturn? They make gemstones. On Earth, diamonds form deep underground over millions of years. On Saturn, it may take just a few hours as carbon descends through dense, stormy skies. This fact highlights just how diverse and extreme our universe is. What seems like a fairy tale on Earth is just another Tuesday on Saturn. So the next time you hear the word luxury, think bigger than gold watches and sports cars. Somewhere in the cosmos, diamonds literally fall from the sky. And while we may never hold those Saturnian gems in our hands, just knowing they exist makes our universe feel a whole lot more magical. Fact number 3, humans couldn't see the color blue until recently in history. Close your eyes and picture the sky. It's blue, right? Now imagine living in a time when you couldn't even recognize the color blue because, as strange as it sounds, for most of human history, people had no concept of the color. Let's go back in time and uncover this visual mystery. No blue in ancient texts? Seriously? Here's where things get weird. When scholars began studying ancient literature, they noticed something missing. The color blue is almost never mentioned. Take Homer's Odyssey and Iliad, two of the most influential works of ancient Greek literature. He describes the ocean as wine dark. The sky? Never described as blue. Not once. Even in the ancient Hebrew Bible, Sanskrit texts, and Chinese poetry, no word for blue. There were words for black, white, red, yellow, and green, but blue is mysteriously absent. What does this mean? Couldn't they see it? This led to a revolutionary theory. Did ancient people even see blue? A researcher named William Gladstone, who later became Prime Minister of the UK, studied this phenomenon in the 19th century and proposed something radical, that humans only began to perceive blue after they developed a word for it. In 2006, a fascinating experiment took this even further. The Himba tribe experiment researchers went to Namibia to study the Himba tribe, whose language does not distinguish blue from green. In one test, they showed the tribe a circle of green squares with just one blue square mixed in. Most Himba participants couldn't identify the blue one. They said all the squares looked the same. Yet, when shown many shades of green, which to most people look identical, the Himba people could easily tell them apart. Color perception is not just biology, it's language plus culture plus memory. If you don't have a word for something, your brain literally struggles to see it as unique. Color vision depends on how our brains process visual input, not just what our eyes physically see. Our eyes contain cone cells that detect red, green, and blue wavelengths. But without the concept or language to categorize colors, your brain groups them differently or misses the distinction altogether. So it's not that ancient humans were colorblind, they just didn't separate blue from other dark tones like black or gray. To modern people, this sounds outrageous. We're surrounded by blue, jeans, oceans, Facebook logos. But here's what you have to understand. Culture shapes perception. Thousands of years ago, there were no blue pigments in nature. Blue flowers and dyes were rare or non-existent. The first synthetic blue dye, Egyptian blue, wasn't developed until around 2500 BCE, and it was expensive and uncommon. Until people saw blue as a distinct thing, they simply didn't talk, or think, about it. The realization of blue as a color. The ancient Egyptians were possibly the first to recognize blue as unique, since they had access to lapis lazuli, a rich blue stone imported from Afghanistan. They used it in jewelry, paintings, and even makeup. But in most of the ancient world, blue remained a foreign, elite color, not something people encountered every day. It wasn't until the Middle Ages and the Renaissance that blue became widespread, thanks to improvements in dyes and increased trade. Even then, artists reserved blue for royalty and religious figures, like the Virgin Mary. Modern proof of language shaping vision. Today, children typically learn color names by age 2 to 3. But when toddlers don't know the word blue, they'll often confuse it with purple or green. Only after they learn the word can they quickly identify it, even though their eyes were capable all along. This shows us that the naming of color changes the way our brains organize reality. If humans took so long to recognize blue, what else might we be missing today simply because we haven't created the word for it? Are there other aspects of reality we walk past every day but can't see because our minds haven't been trained to? That's not just a fact, it's a philosophical mystery. Fact number 4, octopuses are so smart, they can escape aquariums, use tools, and recognize humans. You've probably seen an octopus in a documentary or maybe at an aquarium. But did you know that these slippery sea creatures have opened jars, solved mazes, escaped from sealed tanks, and even played pranks on researchers? This isn't your average marine animal. We're talking about a level of intelligence so bizarre, some scientists compare octopuses to extraterrestrials. The brain power of an octopus. Octopuses are invertebrates, animals without a backbone. Now here's the shocker, they have 9 brains. One central brain located between their eyes, 8 mini brains, one in each arm. Each arm can act independently, taste, touch, and even make decisions without consulting the main brain. It's like having 8 extra minds, all working in harmony. And it doesn't stop there, they have around 500 million neurons, similar to a dog. Their short-term memory is sharp. They can learn by watching, a rare trait in the animal kingdom. Octopuses are legendary for escaping tanks. In New Zealand, an octopus named Inky made international headlines by unscrewing his tank's lid, slithering across the floor, finding a tiny drain pipe, and escaping back into the ocean. No one trained him. He just figured it out. Another octopus was caught sneaking into neighboring tanks at night, eating fish, and returning before morning. Aquarium staff only realized it after checking security footage. Tool use was once considered a trait exclusive to humans and some primates. Then came birds. And then, octopuses. The veined octopus has been observed collecting coconut shells, stacking them, and later using them as armor or shelter. They've been filmed carrying these shells for long distances across the ocean floor, assembling them when needed. True foresight and planning. They recognize humans, and can even be petty. Researchers who work closely with octopuses have noticed something fascinating. Octopuses can remember individual humans. They show preference toward some and dislike for others. In labs, if they don't like a handler, they've been seen squirting water at them deliberately. Some octopuses even learn to turn off lights in their tanks by spraying water at the light switches. Petty? Maybe. Smart? Absolutely. Despite their brilliance, most octopuses only live 1 to 2 years. Some species, like the giant Pacific octopus, can live up to 5 years, but that's rare. Why evolve such intelligence if they die so quickly? One theory suggests that their intelligence compensates for their vulnerability. No bones, no armor, no venom. Their only defense? Their brain. Alien origins? Not exactly, but close. A 2018 scientific paper suggested that octopuses evolved so rapidly and uniquely, their genetic makeup almost seems otherworldly. They have completely unique RNA editing, a genome that's wildly different from other mollusks, the ability to change skin color and texture almost instantly. Some scientists jokingly, and some, seriously, compare them to aliens that evolved independently from Earth life. Of course, there's no real evidence they're from outer space. But they sure seem like they are. Next time you see an octopus, don't just think weird sea creature. Think, genius shapeshifter. Underwater escape artist. Emotionally intelligent deep sea alien. They're not just one of the smartest creatures in the ocean. They're one of the smartest creatures on Earth. Fact number 5, your belly button is home to hundreds of unique species of bacteria, some found nowhere else on Earth. You shower every day, brush your teeth, and wash your hands. But when was the last time you cleaned your belly button? Here's a weird but true fact. Your navel isn't just a forgotten crease on your body, it's a bacterial metropolis, a hidden ecosystem crawling with hundreds of microbial species, many of which exist nowhere else in the known universe. Let's open the door to this microscopic jungle. The belly button biodiversity study. In 2011, scientists from North Carolina State University launched the Belly Button Biodiversity Project. They swabbed the navels of over 500 volunteer students, teachers, athletes, doctors, to see what was growing inside. What they found was mind-blowing. Over 2,300 different species of bacteria were identified. Around 1,500 of them were completely new to science, never before seen in any lab or sample. Some belly buttons had as few as 29 species, while others had up to 107. That's not a typo. Your belly button might host more species of bacteria than there are countries in the world. Rare microbes and ancient survivors. One volunteer's belly button had a species of bacteria previously found only in Japanese soil, but the person had never been to Japan. Another person had extremophile bacteria in their navel, the kind usually found in glaciers or deep ocean thermal vents. How is that possible? Some bacteria hitchhike on clothing, others linger from early childhood, and some may be passed down from ancient human ancestors. In essence, your belly button is a microbial time capsule. Why does this happen? The belly button is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. It's warm, dark, often moist, and usually ignored in daily hygiene routines. It's like a little cave in your body, offering shelter to millions of microscopic residents who quietly go about their business. But don't worry, most of these bacteria are harmless, and many are actually beneficial. They help balance your skin's microbiome and may even boost immune function. What this reveals about the human body. Here's the big takeaway: you are not alone, not even inside your own body. In fact, you have more bacterial cells in your body than human cells. The human microbiome, the collection of all the microbes in and on you, may weigh up to 3 pounds. This microbial you plays a role in digestion, mood, immunity, and more. So while we focus on organs like the brain or heart, the bacteria inside you are quietly running the show. Let's be real, it's weird. But amazing. Sure, it might sound gross. But think of it this way: you're carrying around an entire alien world, a microscopic civilization that's completely unique to you. Your belly button is like your personal petri dish, a biological fingerprint that no one else in the world shares. It's a reminder that nature doesn't always show off. Sometimes, it hides its wonders in the most unexpected places. From diamond rain on Saturn to blue we couldn't see, from hyper-intelligent octopuses to the jungle inside your own belly button, one thing is clear: if you enjoyed these crazy, science-backed facts, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a drop of mind-blowing knowledge. Let us know in the comments, which fact shocked you the most? And what topics should we explore in our next episode?